When they pleaded for help, humanity answered with unstoppable war. Earth in 2157 was peaceful after many years of fighting among humans. People lived on Mars and some moons of Jupiter. The first ship to another star had just reached Alpha Centauri. Admiral Kang watched the stars from his office window on the moon base, thinking about how far humans had come. Then everything changed. A strange ship appeared at the edge of our solar system. It was damaged, with parts falling off as it drifted toward Earth. The ship sent a message that repeated over and over. At first, no one understood it. Dr. Kim, the top scientist at Earth Space Command, worked day and night to understand the message. "It's a call for help," she finally told Admiral Kang. "They're using math to talk to us." The ship belonged to aliens called Neridians. Their leader, Tay, looked like a tall blue human with 4 arms and eyes that glowed softly. When the ship landed, Tay walked out slowly, clearly hurt. "We thank you for allowing us to land," Tay said through a translator device. "Our people are dying. We need help." Admiral Kang listened as Tay told a terrible story. The Neridians were peaceful space travelers who had met many friendly aliens. But then the Void Hegemony found them. These were not friendly. They were machines mixed with living parts that ate planets and killed everyone. "They have destroyed 12 of our worlds," Tay said, showing videos of beautiful cities being turned to dust. "Billions of our people are dead. We have no weapons that can stop them." The Earth leaders met to talk about what to do. Some wanted to hide and hope the Void Hegemony wouldn't find Earth. Others wanted to help. "If we don't stop them now, they might find us next," said Admiral Kang. "And even if they don't, can we live with ourselves knowing we let a peaceful people die?" Subin, the Earth president, stood up. "Our history is full of war. We fought each other for centuries. Now we can use what we learned to help others." The vote was close, but in the end, Earth decided to help the Neridians. Tay couldn't believe it. "You would risk your lives for us? We cannot even pay you." "That's not why we're helping," Admiral Kang said. "We're helping because it's right." Earth's factories began building warships. The Neridians shared their faster-than-light travel technology, which let ships jump between stars. Humans improved it to make it work for warships. Dr. Kim worked with Tay to learn about the Void Hegemony's weaknesses. "They've never faced a species that knows war like we do," she told Admiral Kang. "We turned mining lasers into weapons that can cut through their ships," Engineer Park explained, showing the new designs. "And we're using our AI systems to create battle plans they won't expect." The Neridians watched in amazement. They had never seen a species prepare for war so quickly or efficiently. "Your people are strange," Tay told Admiral Kang. "You make art and music, you care for each other, yet you know so much about fighting." "We learned the hard way," Kang replied. "Now we'll use that knowledge to save your people." 6 months later, 50 Earth ships were ready. Each one carried weapons more powerful than anything humans had ever built before. The crews were volunteers from every human settlement. Before they left, President Subin spoke to them. "You carry humanity's spirit with you. Show the universe that we stand against those who would destroy peaceful people." Admiral Kang stood on the bridge of the flagship, Earth's Hope. Next to him was Tay, still amazed that these humans would fight for aliens they had just met. "We're ready," said Captain Han, Kang's second in command. Kang nodded and gave the order. "All ships prepare for jump." The 50 ships vanished in flashes of light, heading toward the Neridian home system. The war had begun. The 50 ships from Earth traveled through space faster than light. They arrived at a small moon base that the Neridians had hidden from, the Void Hegemony. This would be their headquarters for planning the war. Admiral Unji stepped off her ship and looked around. The base was crowded with blue-skinned Neridians who watched the humans with hope in their glowing eyes. "We have 6 months before the hegemony returns to attack the remaining Neridian worlds," Unji told her officers. "We need to be ready." Earth had sent its best people. Dr. Hana, the top scientist, studied the Neridian technology. Captain Dai Sung led the weapons team. Commander Minho trained the soldiers, and Siok, a quiet man who had once been a farmer on Mars, turned out to be the most important of all. The Neridians showed the humans their ships. They were beautiful, but had almost no weapons. "Your people never developed strong weapons?" asked Taisung. The Neridian engineer named Jin shook his head. "We never needed them." "Until now." Daesung smiled. "Then let me show you what humans can do." He took the mining lasers from human ships and changed them to cut through the thick armor of the hegemony ships. The Neridians watched in wonder as he tested the new weapons, slicing through chunks of metal as thick as a house. "How do you know how to make such things?" Jin asked. "Humans fought each other for thousands of years," Daesung said. "Now we'll use what we learned to fight for you." Meanwhile, Dr. Hana worked with the Neridian scientists to understand the void hegemony. They learned that the enemy ships were part machine and part living creature. "That gives me an idea," Hana said. She called Siok to her lab. Siok had worked with plant diseases on Mars. "If these ships are partly alive," he said, "then maybe they can get sick." They worked day and night to create a special virus that would make the living parts of the hegemony ship stop working. It was like giving a cold to a giant space monster. Commander Minho trained human and Neridian soldiers together. The Neridians were fast and could see in the dark. The humans were strong and knew how to fight. Together they made perfect teams. "The hegemony expects enemies to run away," Minho told them. "They don't expect anyone to attack them directly. That will be our advantage." The most amazing work happened when Admiral Yunji brought all the teams together. Humans used Neridian faster-than-light technology to make their ships jump in and out of battle quickly. They put the new weapons on both human and Neridian ships. They created small drones that could fly inside enemy ships and release Siok's virus. One day, a Neridian scout ship returned with terrible news. The hegemony was coming early. They had found another Neridian world and were heading there to destroy it. "We're not ready," Jin said, looking worried. Yunji put her hand on the Neridian's shoulder. "We have enough to start. We won't let another world fall." That night, Yunji couldn't sleep. She walked through the base and found Siok looking at pictures of the hegemony ships. "Are you afraid?" she asked him. "Yes," he said honestly. "But I keep thinking about my farm on Mars. If we don't stop the hegemony, someday they might find Earth. I'm fighting for my home as much as for the Nereidians." Yunji nodded. "Tomorrow we take the fight to the enemy." The next morning, 57 ships left the moon base, a mix of human warships and Neridian vessels now fitted with weapons. The soldiers were nervous but ready, as their ships jumped to faster-than-light speed. Yunji looked at her crew, humans working side by side with Neridians. "The hegemony has never faced humans before," she told them. "They don't know what's coming." The combined fleet of human and Neridian ships arrived at the Beltar system. This was where the void hegemony would attack next. Captain Ji Yong stood on the bridge of her ship, the Swift Strike, looking at the beautiful blue-green planet below. "This is Nereid 5, said Bay, the Nereidian guide. 3 billion of my people live here. It's one of our last major worlds." Ji Yong nodded. "We'll protect it." The fleet hid behind the system's largest moon. Their plan was simple but dangerous. Let the hegemony enter the system, then attack them from behind. They didn't wait long. Space seemed to tear open as 5 massive hegemony ships appeared. Each one was the size of a small moon. They looked like giant black spiders with glowing red lines running across their surfaces. "Those aren't just ships," said Engineer Wu, looking at the scanner. "They're partly alive." Ji Yong felt a chill. The hegemony ships moved toward the planet like hungry animals. "All ships prepare to attack," Admiral Yunji's voice came through the radio. "Remember your training." The human Neridian fleet moved out from behind the moon. The hegemony ships didn't notice them at first. They had never expected to be followed or attacked. "Fire main weapons," Ji Yong ordered. The new weapons worked better than they had hoped. Bright beams cut into the black armor of the nearest hegemony ship. It turned slowly, as if surprised. Then the battle truly began. The hegemony ships released thousands of smaller fighters. They looked like metal insects with glowing red eyes. "Launch our fighters," Ji Young ordered. Human pilots flew alongside Neridians. The human ships were stronger, while the Neridian ships were faster. Together, they destroyed many enemy fighters, but the hegemony was powerful. One of their main ships fired a beam that cut a human destroyer in half. 300 people died in seconds. "We need to use Seok's virus," Yunji ordered. Special drones flew toward the largest hegemony ship. They were too small to shoot down. They attached to the ship's hull and released the virus into the living parts. At first, nothing happened. Then the huge ship began to move strangely, like it was sick. Its weapons fired in random directions. "It's working," Ji Young said. The other hegemony ship seemed confused. They had never faced this kind of attack before. Human Commander Sung Min used this moment to try something bold. His ship, the Heavy Hand, flew directly at one of the hegemony vessels. At the last second, they used the improved jump technology to appear inside the enemy's shields. "Fire everything," Sung Min ordered. The Heavy Hand's weapons tore into the hegemony ship at close range. Both ships were badly damaged, but the hegemony vessel began to break apart. "Get us out of here," Sung Min told his pilot. The Heavy Hand jumped away just before the hegemony ship exploded. The explosion was so bright that it blinded sensors for several minutes. When they could see again, 2 hegemony ships were destroyed. One was heavily damaged by Seok's virus. The other 2 were retreating, jumping away to safety. The human Neridian fleet had won their first battle, but the cost was high. 7 ships destroyed. Over 1,000 dead. On the swift strike, Ji Young looked at the faces of her crew. They were tired but proud. "We showed them that the Neridians are not alone anymore," she said, "and we showed them what humans can do." Later, in a meeting with the other captains, Admiral Yunji spoke seriously. "This was just the beginning. The hegemony will return with more ships. They'll change their tactics and they'll be looking for Earth now." "What do we do?" asked Bai. "We take the fight to them," Yunji said. "We can't just defend. We need to attack their bases and supply lines." Captain Yuna, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "My ship is small and fast. We can go behind enemy lines, find their weak points." Yunji nodded. "Do it, and bring back anything you learn about them." As the meeting ended, they received a message from Earth. More ships were being built. Help was coming. But would it be enough? The hegemony controlled hundreds of star systems. They had thousands of ships. Ji Young looked out at the stars and wondered what the enemy was planning now. After the first battle, the war changed. The Void hegemony was angry. They had never lost before. Now they sent hundreds of ships to find and destroy the humans and Neridians. Admiral Yunji's fleet grew as more ships arrived from Earth. They no longer just defended planets. They attacked the enemy wherever they could find them. Captain Yuna and her fast ship Shadow Dancer became famous for sneaking behind enemy lines. Her crew was small, just 20 humans and 10 Neridians. They would jump into a hegemony system, gather information, and leave before being caught. "We found something important," Yuna told Admiral Yunji during a secret meeting. She showed a map of enemy space. "The hegemony ships need to return to these 3 bases for fuel and repairs. If we attack the bases, we can hurt them badly." Yunji nodded. "Good work. We'll plan attacks on all 3. Meanwhile, the hegemony was looking for Earth. They had never faced such strong resistance and wanted to destroy the human homeworld. "We need to keep fighting away from our solar system," Yunji told her captains. "We must protect Earth at all costs." Dr. Hyun Woo had been studying pieces of destroyed hegemony ships. Working with Neridian scientist Illith, he made an important discovery. "The hegemony ships are connected to each other," he explained. "They share information like parts of one brain, but this connection can be broken. They created a special signal that could confuse the enemy ships, making them unable to work together. When tested in battle, it worked well. 3 human ships defeated 8 hegemony vessels by breaking their connection. The war spread to more star systems. Sometimes the humans won, sometimes they lost. 3 colony worlds were destroyed by the hegemony. Millions of Nereidians died. Thousands of humans were also lost. On the battleship Thunder Sky, Lieutenant Jun Ho led a team of scouts. They used small, fast ships to explore the edge of hegemony space. "We need to find out where these monsters come from," he told his team. "There must be a central place they call home." During one mission, Junho's ship was damaged. They had to hide on a dead moon while enemy patrols searched for them. While hiding, they noticed something strange. All the enemy ships were moving in the same direction when not in battle. "They're reporting to something," Junho realized. "Let's follow them, but very carefully." For 3 weeks, they followed enemy ship movements, jumping between systems and staying hidden. Finally, they saw it, a massive structure around a red star. "It's bigger than a planet," whispered Junho. "It must be their central brain." His ship took images and data readings before racing back to Admiral Yunji with the news. When Yunji saw the images, she called an emergency meeting with all fleet commanders. "This changes everything," she said. "The hegemony isn't just a group of ships, it's one huge mind spread across many vessels. And now we know where the center is." "Can we attack it?" asked Captain Ji Young. "It would be suicide. There must be thousands of ships guarding it." "We need a new weapon," said Yunji. "Something they've never seen before." She contacted Earth, sending all the information they had gathered. The best scientists on Earth, Mars, and the Moon began working on a plan. They called it the Prometheus Protocol. While they waited, the war continued. The hegemony attacked more worlds. The human Nereidian fleet fought back bravely. Both sides lost ships and lives. Yuna's shadow dancer returned from another secret mission with disturbing news. "The hegemony has found the location of our main base," she reported. "They're gathering a massive fleet to attack it. We have 2 weeks at most." Yunji looked grim. "Then we don't have much time. We need to strike at their center before they strike at ours." "But the Prometheus Protocol isn't ready," said Ji Young. "It will have to be," Yunji replied. "We're running out of options." The fleet gathered for their final mission. 120 human ships, along with 42 Nereidian vessels, prepared to attack the center of the Void hegemony. Every ship was loaded with weapons and brave crews ready to fight. Fleet Commander Su Jin stood on the bridge of the flagship, Starhammer. She looked at the faces around her, humans and Nereidians working side by side. After 2 years of war, they had become true friends. "The Prometheus Protocol is ready," reported physicist Kaiho, "but we can only use it once." Sujin nodded. The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's greatest weapon, a device that could make a star release a controlled energy burst. It would be like a giant flash of light that could disable thousands of enemy ships at once. "Remember," Sujin told her crew, "we need to get close enough to the central structure to use it. That means fighting through their defenses." The fleet jumped to the edge of the hegemony home system. Immediately they saw what they were facing: over 2,000 enemy ships guarding the massive structure that surrounded the Red Star. "All ships, attack pattern Delta," ordered Sujin. "Fighter groups, launch now." The battle began. Human and Nereidian ships charged forward. The space between the fleets filled with weapons fire and explosions. Captain Do-Yan led the first attack group. His ship, Braveheart, took heavy damage but destroyed 3 enemy vessels. "We need to open a path to the central structure," he said to his crew, "no matter the cost." The battle was the largest in the war. Hundreds of ships fought around the Red Star. The humans and Nereidians fought with everything they had, but there were so many enemy ships. Then something strange happened. The central structure sent out a signal. It was trying to communicate. "They want to talk," said the communications officer, surprised. Sujin was suspicious but agreed to listen. A deep voice came through the speakers. It didn't sound like a person or a machine, but something in between. "Why do you fight us?" the voice asked. "We are saving the universe." "By destroying innocent worlds?" Sujin replied. We harvest energy from planets to prevent the heat death of the universe, the voice explained. All life will end in billions of years if the universe keeps expanding. We are stopping that. For the first time, humans understood what they were fighting. The hegemony wasn't just evil, it was an ancient intelligence that thought it was, doing good by sacrificing some worlds to save all life in the future. There must be another way, said Kehoe. Destroying civilizations isn't the answer. Some of the hegemony ships stopped firing. It seemed that not all parts of the hegemony agreed with the central mind, but many ships still attacked. Do-Yon's Braveheart was hit badly. Their engines were failing. We can't escape, he told his crew, but we can still help. He ordered his ship to ram one of the largest enemy vessels. Both ships exploded in a bright flash. Su-Jin saw her chance. All remaining ships cover us. We're going in with the Prometheus Protocol. The Starhammer flew toward the central structure while other ships protected it. When they were close enough, Kehoe activated the device. The red star pulsed. A wave of energy spread outward, washing over the hegemony ships and the central structure. The enemy ships went dark. The structure's lights flickered. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then the hegemony voice spoke again. We understand now. There are things we did not consider. We will reconsider our methods. Many hegemony ships remained disabled. Others began to retreat. The central structure's defenses shut down. The battle was over. Humanity had won, not by destroying the hegemony completely, but by making part of it understand that there were better ways than destruction. 3 months later, Admiral Yoon-ji stood on a hill overlooking a new city on a Neridian world. The city was being built by both humans and Neridians. Some reformed hegemony ships were even helping, sharing their advanced technology for peaceful purposes. Children played in a park below, human children with Neridian friends. They had never known the war, only the peace that came after. Was it worth it? Asked Tae, the Neridian who had first come to Earth asking for help. Yoon-ji watched the children playing. Yes, she said. This is worth fighting for. In space above them, ships from Earth, Nereid, and the reformed hegemony worked together to build a new kind of defense network, one that would protect all peaceful worlds from any threat that might come in the future. The galaxy would never forget how. When the Neridians pleaded for help, humanity answered with unstoppable war, and then with lasting peace.